Hi, hi, I'm Michael, and just like you, hi, I'm Michael, and just like many of you, I recently got behind a grassroots political movement headed by Liz Gunn called New Zealand Loyal. From the start, I saw a few red flags, but before I get to those, I'll introduce myself. And before I do that, I'll acknowledge an important skill vital to these times we're living in. It's called re-evaluation, which unfortunately requires a certain amount of self-criticism. And unfortunately, it's at this time where people automatically put up their firewall. Anger then overcomes rational thinking, and as a result, many aren't on the same page, or in other words, divided. This skill is essential for a successful recovery. There are people that will play on whatever they can, including our insecurities, to divide us. It is vitally important we're all on the same page as much as possible. We must also bear in mind these issues aren't a competition, such as when we first learned about them or what we've been right or wrong about. No one can get everything right amongst all of this deception. Now to my introduction. In 1995, I had an experience that changed the way I look at this world. I realised there was something very serious and sinister unfolding. For many God-fearing people, this would have been a no-brainer. As I had no real religious understanding at that time, that perspective didn't even register. By the time 9/11 came to pass, my head was well and truly in this ugly battle. In short, the last 22 years have been studying unfolding events and all history relevant to this evil. I have seen a widespread use of the internet come along and a big awakening amongst the meek. The average person in the street now has a public platform, allowing knowledge to be easily shared. This awakening has become so developed that the deception has increased exponentially. These globalists or Luciferians, to be accurate, are publicly acknowledging their already exposed agendas in order to look like the good guys and control their deceived flocks. This quite clearly is why New Zealand Loyal was created. Besides their enjoyment and deception, their enjoyment of deception and revenue gathering. In July of this year, I thought I'd check the internet to see if there was a party worth voting for. I came across Liz Gunn and New Zealand Loyal and felt it was the best bet, so I got behind it. This quickly became a nationwide movement full of good, honest people buying merchandise, making electoral signs, printing flyers, and delivering them all at their own expense. Also donating money to the cause. I personally paid for and organised 9 signs and also made a $40 donation. Like so many others, I'm very concerned with the horror our politicians are handing down to our children. Let's look at these red flags and then we'll eventually get to the smoking gun. First red flag was Liz's career in the mainstream media. The second red flag, the colour of the party, yellow and black, the same colour as a bee. There is a concept within the Luciferians known as the hive mind. Another red flag was a statement. She slipped into a video about rising like the phoenix from the ashes. Luciferians say this a lot, and if you think this is childish talk, that's because it is. These fallen ones like to wave their flag about as much as they can without being detected. A strategy of these individuals is to separate red flags. Individually, they are irrelevant and may even seem pathetic, as a red flag is not a smoking gun. During the rally, there was an idea floated that people should take measures such as photos of filled out election slips, which could be mailed into New Zealand Loyal to check the dishonesty of the Electoral Commission. After the election, next to nothing was mentioned about pursuing this action by New Zealand Loyal. If you still have evidence of your vote, you can send it into caretaking@loyalrecovery.co.nz with the subject line voting and a contact phone number. If there is over the number stated by the Electoral Commission, they will be handed to police. The leader, Liz, went to ground for a week or two after the election and has done little to point her flock in a planned and successful direction. Any leader acting with honourable intentions would take 1 to 2 days off after the election and then address her flock, which, by the way, would have taken only about 10 minutes of her time with the team. Not just the one platform, but all platforms. And to encourage people to send in their voting evidence. I will be releasing a financial plan for the Loyal Recovery Party on my next video in 3 days' time. I'll also address inconsistencies with regards to the Electoral Commission, and I'll also be releasing a plan to try and find out roughly what sort of revenue Liz has collected. As far as I'm concerned, she has embezzled most of it, and what she hasn't has been spent on a fraudulent campaign. During the lockdown, I had a friend who chose to pass away. He had a substantial business that he wasn't allowed to open, even though the 2 shops next to him were. His financial ruin got the better of him. A GoFundMe page was set up for his young family. As I made a donation, I kept an eye on it. The last I saw, it was at 50,000, and I heard it went over 70,000. If a small collection can raise that sort of money, what could a nationwide collection raise? Especially a movement offering a 1% transaction-only tax that also sold merchandise. The biggest armed robbery this country has ever seen occurred in 2000. The thieves got off with $940,000. I think it's highly possible Liz's takings could easily exceed this. If people aren't prepared to see through her, she will rip you off even more so, giving you an inch and slowly taking as much off you as she can. Liz sent her flock out into the wilderness after the election, and I'm sure she's planning on slowly gathering it up before the next election, saying almost all the right things and even doing a lot of great work, but getting nowhere once again, apart from richer. In other words, trying to keep a growing sector of society under control. I'll repeat that. In other words, trying to keep a growing sector of society under control. Okay, it's time for the smoking gun, and it's in the form of a video. I have to warn you, what I'm about to show you may shock you, although it's not as bad as it may initially seem. I've come across these things before, but in a reptilian body. Although they can be very stroppy for no real reason like stress, it's often down to their weakness. And although they are the perpetrators, they can often feel like the victims, therefore see themselves as the victims. And there's no doubt that Liz will want to play the victim, with her crocodile tears. Don't pardon the pun, I'm deadly serious. Playing the victim will help her to make me look like the perpetrator to those that don't have eyes to see or ears to hear. They have lavished themselves with the finer things in life, making them soft. Okay, moving on to that video of Liz. I only have a short video of her here, although you will find most of her videos are extremely revealing. If any of you do go through her videos, I'd advise on a big screen and to slow them down, even maybe record them and slow them down further. Also turn the brightness up. As the pupils are black and the iris isn't, you'll get better definition. Remember, you are looking for something that is literally occurring within the blink of an eye. Her pupil type generally becomes more obvious at the end of her videos, which I put down to tiredness. A fact to note is that it is normal for eye colour in a human to change due to varying factors. The question, in my opinion, is to what degree they change. Best way to draw a conclusion on this is cross-referencing. A human has 3 different types of cone cells in their eyes, where a lizard has 4. And the cones are much more sensitive to light. It's this sensitivity which helps them to, or helps to cover up their true pupil shape. This is not some medical condition. This is somewhat of a different species, and they are up to no good. If you do want to have a look through her videos, I recommend the one with Logan Courtney, the animal rights video, and also the sexual abuse victim, the Honourable Gloria Masters. It appears to me they are by far the minority on this planet, thankfully. Okay, time for Logan Courtney. A man who Liz asked to be her deputy for New Zealand Royal in this video, a man who, of course, has been apparently working for New Zealand Royal for weeks now before making this video, according to Liz. A guy who, surprise, surprise, is or has been working for the Auckland Council. And of course, they don't know each other from any underground caverns or anything crazy like that. That's, never met each other before. Yeah, right. First thing to pay attention to are Logan's pupils. You'll notice they are morphing constantly from a round pupil to a reptilian pupil. First thing to pay attention to, I didn't show you, Logan told us he's a Christian, which couldn't be further from the truth. The guy's wearing a Baphomet brooch. Again, in order to wave his filthy flag around and have a laugh. He made a statement completely out of the blue that politics isn't a theatre. Why, you may wonder? Because he knows that's exactly what it is, one big theatrical deception. For quite some time, I've been aware that the left and the right, and almost everything in between, have been working together. What I've come to realise since COVID is that the electoral system are in on it too, and I'll also address that in my next video. Logan said he's a positive change agent. What's that supposed to mean? That's like me going around telling everyone I'm a social investor. This is just a giggle for him. He doesn't care about all the deception and lies. He thinks it's funny, although he manages to keep it just a smile. Thankfully, I can see these people coming from miles away, which is why it's in your best interest to follow me. I'll address that issue shortly. These fallen ones are master manipulators and deceivers. That doesn't mean they're clever, though. We're all good at something, and I know what you're good at. You may find this hard to believe, as I probably don't know you, so I'll tell you. You're good at what you enjoy. These are individuals that enjoy the lies, manipulation, and deception. They're not clever because if they were, they wouldn't be in this situation. You may think you have a manipulator in your life, and maybe you do. It doesn't necessarily mean they have fallen, just that they have some growing up to do. In a future video, I'll take a dive into history to answer the question as to whether these fallen ones are happy about the controversy they're currently in. Just before we go back to Liz, Logan's partner of filth, let's go to a clip of the press conference held in Hawaii after this occult or hidden group manufactured a whole lot of hurt with their Luciferian hand signals in the red circle. I've seen this first guy shutting down genuine questions from decent reporters asking about an extremely important issue. He's absolutely appalling. You'll then see the next guy doing the same thing, even looking down to make sure he's happy with it. Congratulations. Very clever. Very clever. You've done well. Last of all, the sign language lady. She does a number of variations. Although I don't do sign language, I'd have to presume she's in on it too.
They'll go out to the field with palm pads. They'll look for you. We'll go to the shelters. We'll go to their locations and try to help them. As far as public assistance is primarily moved into the neighborhood, communications back to those who make those notifications are physically and nearly impossible.
Poles that fell on our roads, 29 of the power poles. Poles that fell on our roads, 29 of the power poles were down. And
back to this filth. In this video I'm about to play you, you'll notice the more Logan's wife lies about what a good man her husband is, the funnier she finds it. Also, watch Liz. She's having the time of her life and even swooning or becoming clucky. They start talking about positive things like relationships, as this gives them a good reason for the smiling and laughing and prevents them from looking suspicious.
Thank you, my friend.
I do really appreciate that. I can't believe you did that, but yeah. And my wife is here, so she gave double thumbs up, which apparently in English means
Lovely. Can I see her? Can I see her?
yeah.
He's a bit of a special one, isn't he? He's a bit of a special. Yeah.
He is amazing. I've never met anyone like Logan, and he's the real deal, and very genuine, honest, truthful. Will just say it how it is, and he's perfect for this job and role. Yeah, perfect.
It's just so delightful to hear a wife talk about her husband like that. I love it as well. Part of our thing that I talk about at a lot of meetings, we not only need our strong men and our feminine women, we are powerful women when we're in our femininity, but we need our husbands and wives and our families rebuilt. That's what they've tried so hard to break down. And here you are, honoring and praising the man you're married to. What a beautiful society base that is, a foundation that is.
Plus, we do everything together. We hold the same job roles sometimes together. When we worked together in Auckland Council, I fell pregnant. He took over just fit like a glove, and they were just shocked how we could just slip into different roles. And we just work so well. We have one phone. We have we just share.
The chief operating officer, Martin, he said to me, he goes, It's like you've been here the entire time. I said, well, my wife talks about this place all the time. I said, this is our contract. And he was just like, I still can't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. We can't wait to meet you.
That's delightful, Addie. I can't wait to meet both of you. Well done. Thanks, soon.
Thanks, Lynn.
Bye.
Okay. See ya.
What I've noticed with this occult group over the past 5 or so years, especially after COVID, and not just in New Zealand, but all around the world, is that the right hand has lost track of what the left hand is up to, and vice versa. It also seems to me there's disagreement at the highest levels on the way they should be moving forward with their agendas. As time goes by, they are losing more and more control of their operation. Many have even developed a worried look on their face. I'd like to finish this presentation with an unfortunate fact and then a solution. For many years now, people have started channels dealing with these issues and doing a lot of great work. As a result, so many more people are aware of what's going on, but unfortunately, these filthy people are still having their desires met, like what recently happened in Hawaii, to name one of many. This is because although we are getting so many great viewpoints from the different channels, we are lacking an orchestrator and can't operate successfully together using our vast numbers. So do yourself a favour. Follow me on Rumble, BitChute, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, Odyssey, and of course Facebook. Links are above. Together, we'll finish off these fools once and for all. I'll see you all in 3 days' time with my next video addressing the issues I said I would. And then on a later video, we'll take that dive into history. Also, I'll break down our banking and exchange or monetary system into a way that's very easy for everyone to understand, without all of the smoke and mirrors. So get on board, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in 3 days' time.